It is 6:30, March 13, 2025. The Board of Police Commission meeting is called to order. We have Commander Chaplain Mike Cadotte will provide the invocation this evening. You can tell us the pronunciation
Recording
of your
in
name
progress.
as well. Did I get it right?
Close, sir. Mike Cadotte.
Cadotte, okay.
It's a
All
tricky one. Thank you, sir, to you and through you to the Board of Commissioners and to those gathered here today on this, a very holy time where so many are fasting, praying, and discerning the call of God. We give thanks for this meeting and ask for God's blessings upon it. May God bless this honored commission and the work that they do that is so important to the police department and the citizens of the city of Detroit. May God, may your wisdom flow through them and your peace flow through them and touch their minds and their hearts as they do this most important duties tonight. We also ask for your wisdom to travel with our police officers and our police department and ask your blessings upon them. And may your angels travel with all of our officers and keep them and all of us free and safe from any and all evils, before them, behind them, beside them, beneath them, and above them. We thank you for their service. I also pray, O Lord, for peace and love to be upon all of the citizens of the city of Detroit and those gathered here tonight. And at the conclusion of this important meeting, and when the work is concluded, I pray for safe travels home for all of us, and may we all find peace, love, and joy in our home lives as well. In your most holy and exalted name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Woods,
Present.
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Bernard,
Attorney Linda Bernard, District 2, present.
Commissioner Banks,
Present.
Commissioner Bell is excused, Commissioner Burton is excused, Commissioner Carter. Here. Commissioner Moore,
Present, District 7.
Commissioner Hernandez. Present. Commissioner DeWalsh.
Present.
8 present, sir.
We have a quorum. I entertain a motion for the approval of March 13, 2025 agenda.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Moore, second by Commissioner Bernard. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. I entertain a motion for the approval of minutes of March 6, 2025.
Second.
Motion moved by Commissioner Smith and supported by Commissioner Hernandez. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. Introduction of BOPC staff, chief of police, elected officials, or representative community leaders.
Present at this time, Chairman, through the chair, Attorney Dante Goss, Chief Investigator Jerome Warfield Sr., Drew Freeze, Felicia Tyson, Teresa Blossom, Candace Hayes, Armesia Joshua, Janya Underwood, Investigator Supervisor Ainsley Cromwell, DPD HR Director Katrina Patillo, Deputy Chief Jacqueline Pritchett, for Chief of Police Todd Bettison. Our interpreters on Zoom today are Ms. Yakata and Dr. Stephanie Beatty. Co-reporter Don Handyside, audiovisual Henri Jackson, Media Services Charles Henry. Elected officials and representatives registered at this time are Marie Overall of Office of State Representative Tyrone Carter, Phrygia Butler, I believe is here, President, 2nd Precinct, Community Relations, LaDon Davis, Office of City Council Member Fred Durhall III. I don't believe I saw either Union President here as of yet, and former Detroit Police Commissioner William Davis. That ends the list of officials and representatives.
Okay. I'd like to thank Commissioner Moore and Commissioner Carter for their great leadership and providing a meal for everyone today. Two special commissioners who both I admire a great deal, and really thankful to them to be able to serve in this capacity. And I know that we are in, I think you guys shared the districts together. How I split it off, Commissioner Moore?
Ladies first with Commissioner Carter, Mr. Chair.
Me first.
Yes.
Well, just welcome to the 10th Precinct. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate all of you. It takes a village for everything, and I'm glad that everyone is here tonight. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I'd just like to add, it's 4 commissioners that represent the 10th Precinct. And I'm glad that Commissioner Carter heard the call to assist. So this is my last year, as you well know, as police commissioner. I didn't want to leave y'all saying, well, who's going to be next? Who's going to be next? So the 2 candidates that might, one who might get elected or will get elected, are present today. So get a chance to meet and greet them. I'm not leaving you high and dry. I live in the 10th Precinct, so you'll be seeing more of me. Thank you, and God bless each and every one of you.
All right. Yes, sir.
Commissioner Moore, who are the 2?
No.
Okay. Well, I tried.
I don't want us to go to jail. There's too many
Okay.
police here.
Okay. I got one more.
Yes,
more
sir.
thing. Commissioner Moore and Commissioner Carter, just want to ask you, where did you get the delicious food at?
Well, Mr. President Stokes, when I put out the email, he responded. He said, hey, I know a great guy, Chef CJ, and that's Chef CJ in the middle. So if y'all like the food, give him a round of applause. All right.
I gave them a good tip, man.
Oh, you
Yeah,
tipped?
they,
Okay.
so they deserve it. Service is the rent we pay for the space that we occupy. Certainly, they're in a service field to be able to make people feel better. So we really thank you guys for your hospitality and your service. It was nothing but impeccable. Your smiles make it better for us. So let's get to the Chief of Police report, Deputy Chief Pritchett.
Through the chair, these stats are from today's date. So our homicides, we're down 15 incidents of 16%. Our non-fatal shootings, we're down 25 incidents for a total of 28%. Our robberies, we're down 28 for a 15% reduction. Our carjackings, we're down 8 for a reduction of 33%. And our overall Part 1 violent crimes, we're down 227 incidents for a total of 12%. So for the community updates, on Tuesday, March 11th, at approximately 5:45 p.m., officers from the 10th Precinct responded to a home in the 8700 block of DeSoto for a dead person. They spoke with a female resident who said she left the home for about an hour and returned to find the door locked. She entered through the window and saw a male in his 60s deceased. She then left and called 911. Officers from the 10th Precinct responded, went to the home, and found additional victim, a female in her 60s, also deceased. We're investigating this incident and ask anyone with any information to call our Major Crimes Division at 596-2260, Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP, or visit DetroitRewards.tv. So on Friday, March 7th, we held our Women's Walk celebrating International Women's Day and all the female members of DPD. It was a successful event with a great turnout. Chief Bettison and other department executives attended. So on Saturday, last Saturday, March 8th, our neighborhood police officers in the St. Vincent and Sarah Fisher Center gave away school supplies, clothing, toys, and other items to more than 200 members of the community. So Chief Bettison also met with other police chiefs from around the state at the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police this week. So we know we have officers that are visiting schools periodically to help with reading. So officers from several of our precincts continue to visit schools across the city and read to students for Reading Month. So this is our recruiting event. So this week, we had our DPD Great Readiness Program event, where we welcomed those interested in applying to DPD to learn more about the application process. Chief Bettison was there and spoke to the prospective applicants. On Saturday, March 15th, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. at our training center is our one-day hiring event. This is where those interested can apply to DPD and complete a large portion of the hiring process in one day. We encourage anyone who is looking for a rewarding career to come out on Saturday and join the DPD. Also, we have one member who is at home. She was assigned to the 5th Precinct, and on February 27th, at approximately 2:42 a.m., she was the passenger in a fully marked scout car responding to a 911 dispatch police run, and they were rear-ended while stopped at a red light. She sustained head, neck, and back injuries. She was conveyed to DRH for treatment. She's scheduled to follow up at DMC Rehabilitation Institute of Michigan on March 19th. So she's currently at home recuperating. So that is our report.
Any questions? Yes.
I have a couple of comments and one question. I'll start with the question. In the calls for service, Assistant Chief, it indicates that we have had 3,045 calls for mental health related reasons. Of those, approximately 829 were nonviolent, but 1,200 of those were violent. And the second part, the other thing I want to call to the attention of our community is the fact that we've had 1,024, just this little year to date, overdoses. My question number one is, were the overdoses related to fentanyl or what? And then my second question related to the first point regarding mental health related calls. A number of those they say were not responded to, and I'm just wondering why we would not service calls versus unserviced calls.
Through the chair, ma'am, I really don't know the cause of the overdoses, what drugs they were taking. I can find it out and get it back to the board. And secondly, I don't have the information in front of me to see what you're looking at as far as calls, not service. It's my understanding whenever 911 is called and cars are dispatched, those runs are answered unless the call is canceled or EMS gets there and the person is conveyed to the hospital.
Okay. The other thing is that, can you tell us what happened on the 15th? Well, it's coming up, I'm sorry. It hasn't happened yet. I wanted to know about that. But my real question
You're
is,
in the future.
why are we still recruiting when we have all the officers, all the positions filled?
You know, I think we're at a 98%, through the chair, I'm sorry. I think we had like a 97 or 98% fill rate, but we have officers that are 27, 28 years of service that are deciding to retire. So we have to constantly hire to replace that due to attrition.
But as I understand it, MCOs has backed up more than 1,000 people just trying to do certifications on people. So it's a long time. It's going to be a long time before we can hire anybody if we're going to hire only after they've passed MCOs.
Through the chair, ma'am, we had a hiring on March 10th there in the academy. They started Monday, so we are currently hiring.
They don't have to be MCO. They're MCO certified after they start here. Is that what you're saying?
Through the chair, ma'am, once they complete the academy and pass the post test, then they become MCO certified.
Okay. Thank you.
Then licensed security.
Any further questions? There are no other, oh, yes, sir.
Thank you, through the chair. My question may be a bit granular, but it was a response to a CCR that I read. I know that it is one of the special orders that is here to be considered upcoming. But there was an incident where someone was having their property to be searched. There was a warrant for the search. However, the search began before the owner of the property arrived. And she was requesting to see the search warrant, but the officers declined to provide her the search warrant upon her request, but said it would be left in the property. And obviously, there was no violation of the policy because the policy didn't detail that the officers were required to provide the search warrant upon request. But I was just wondering what would be the rationale as to why officers wouldn't provide a search warrant to an individual when requested, as opposed to just saying it'll be left once the search is completed.
Through the chair, I'm going to have Commander Michael Parrish, who's part of our legal team, to answer that question.
Good evening, everyone. We have to remember when a search warrant is being executed, there is a lot going on at a particular house, and sometimes it is simply safer for the officers to finish what they are doing at the scene and then leave the search warrant in a conspicuous place inside. That way you don't have personnel having a discussion while the search warrant process is still being played out. You're right, Commissioner, there is no legal requirement that we give them a copy of the search warrant at the time they ask for it, but our policy is always to leave a copy of the warrant and a copy of the return in a conspicuous place, if no other place, at the conclusion, once the search warrant's been executed.
Okay, thank you. And so, in response to that, our chair of our policy committee might want to make a notation of that, because that might be of interest to citizens as we do review that policy coming forward, whether or not citizens are okay with the understanding that there's a lot going on. I definitely sympathize with that. But again, on behalf of the citizen who are seeing a lot going on and not knowing whether or not that documentation is available, that may be something to be considered.
And if I could add, sometimes it depends on the type of crime that's under investigation. So how a narcotics location is rated differs substantially from a house that might be entered or a business that might be entered for something that's not easily disposable. Like if you're looking for stolen tires, it's going to be very hard for somebody to throw a bunch of them away while you show them the warrant. But when we get into narcotics, guns, these are things that can be destroyed, concealed, thrown out, displaced in a hurry. So like I said, depending on the type of warrant, the type of location being searched, that could dictate how things are performed.
Yeah, thank you. And again, through the chair, I recognize that's very granular and it's on a case-by-case basis. But again, knowing that that policy is upcoming, I just figured that that might be something that we would consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
But a search warrant is required to search a car, a residence or anything like that. You have to have probable cause unless it's something you're looking at. You're looking at him choking me, then you could arrest, right?
Absolutely. And as I understood the commissioner's question, it was not an issue whether a warrant is generally required to enter a home. Of course they are, and of course that's our policy. It was at what point in time did we have to show a search warrant to somebody that comes to the location in the middle of the search? That's how I interpreted the question.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think through well, I was about to say through the chair, through all these chairs. I think that we can have a robust discussion on that during the policy meeting, and I'm sure it's a balance that could happen whenever possible. Type language, and so look forward to having that discussion in the policy meeting. So thank you very kindly. Deputy Chief, it been brought to my attention that the MDOC is getting out of the contract in terms of housing or securing DDC.
Sir, through the chair, yes.
Yeah, and and that's of great public interest in the sense that DPD will be going back into the, the housing business, and I know that they're going to be looking for a number of staff members to house that facility to be able to make sure that they have people, officers, or I don't know what they will be classified, and I'm sure that'll come out through HR, and there'll be some postings on that. But be on the lookout as it relates to. I'm told it's going to be probably about 45 positions available. Wayne County Sheriff have, they house folks the way they house them, but DPD is going back, and it's going to continue to be centralized and all of that, right?
Correct. Through the chair, yes, sir.
Yep. So have at it. You wanna say something on it?
Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Yeah, have a seat
you
there.
spoke the truth.
I see. I understand the posture, and I'm sure that something will come out very, very soon on that. But that is of great public concern. One of the issues that has gotten us into, federal oversight in terms of how we detain and those who are in custody. And so we're going to make sure that there's strong, robust policy to be able to protect citizens and also protect the staff in those in that place right now. So you have something to say before we move on?
Mr. Chairman, I just guarantee it. We will have strong policy in place. We will never go back to consent judgment days.
Praise the Lord. All right. 10th Precinct. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Commissioner Banks.
All right, through the chair, thank you, Chair. Through the chair. We're down in criminal homicides, we had 22 criminal homicides this year versus last year, 31. Aggravated assaults, we had 1335. Now, last year, we had 1499. And burglary, we're at 727 this year and 845 this year. I just wanted to say, the new administration with Mayor Todd, Chief Todd Bed, I'm sorry, Chief Todd,
Got too many folks.
Medicine.
Chief Todd Bedison, yeah. Chief Todd Bedison, the new administration is definitely paying dividends in this season here. So that's wonderful. Crime is going down and things, but he also has a good core to surrounding him. And just wanted to put that out to DPD.
Through the chair, thank you. You know, we're still following some of the policies set by the prior chief, and you know,
Right.
he has a great executive team. We have some officers out there that are doing phenomenal work, and our number shows that we are engaged. We're trying to keep the citizens of this city safe as we possibly can without violating any of their rights. So I think, you know, Chief Bedison is Chief Bedison. You know, we all
Right,
love
right.
him and we embrace him. And the work that we did prior to him coming here will continue while he's here.
Yeah, I thought we going by all the policy of Chief Bedison, you know. I know we ain't going by the prior chief. That's the old. We got the new coming in, you know.
New
And
administration,
I'm
right?
just joking, you know. But you know, these are Chief Bedison policies now, and it's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Chief Bedison. Let's go to the 10th precinct.
Mr. Chair, before I forget, our staff worked hard to put this menu together. I forgot all about our staff, and I surely apologize. Madam Secretary, Ms. Blossom, Johnny, I appreciate y'all for the logistics of this. It's not easy,
No.
you know, to put something like this together. So before the captain begins, I just want to say thank you to the staff for
Absolutely.
assisting.
Let's give them a hand, you know.
And Attorney Dante Goss as well.
Yeah. Have at it, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thanks to the Millwrights and Carpenters for letting us come here today. Kind of a little side note, my son is actually in class right now upstairs.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
Yeah, taking advantage of the opportunity. It's a great place. So thanks to the Millwrights. And thanks to the board for letting me come and speak tonight. And thanks to the chief through D.C. Pritchett for having me represent the 10th Precinct. I've been captain of the 10th Precinct for about a year now, and the CO, commanding officer, for the last 4 months, while our currently assigned commander is out fighting a medical illness. So been leading the troops for a few months now, and very proud of our big reductions in 2024, leading into this year, 2025. 12% down in Part 1 crimes overall, with 394 incidents this year, 450 last year. So continually making that improvement in Part 1s. Unfortunately, we are up in homicides year to date in this 2.5-month span. We have 4 incidents known of, 4 incidents so far year to date, plus the 2 from DeSoto the other day. Unfortunately, 3 out of those 4 incidents previous were known offenders. So these happened inside houses or due to like arguments or domestic violence partners. So definitely on our radar to try to bring these crimes to justice. 3 out of those 4 known offenders cases previously are solved now or closed now at 75% closure rate. And I know that I talked to the homicide detectives this morning about the DeSoto incident, and they have a few leads, but they're working on that as well. For non-fatal shootings this year to date, we have 3. Last year at this time, also 3.
All right.
Pardon me?
That's
Oh.
great.
Sure. Even better is the first one of the year was on New Year's Day, and it was the person admitted to accidentally shooting himself, but he won't tell us where he shot himself. So that will be backed out or closed once we get him to come forward. We can get it like officially closed. And the other non-fatal shooting, we have 2 in custody for a 100% closure rate so far year to date. Our robbery stats are showing a current 38.5% increase with 18 victims over 13 robberies from last year. However, there's only 16 incidents. They count the number of victims, not just the incidents, 4 of which are believed to be false reports. We're working on the investigative piece to get those closed and backed out, so our robbery numbers should be improving very shortly. Our sex assaults for the year are down 16.5%. Aggravated assaults are up around 13%. The deep dive on the aggravated assaults, we have 122 aggravated assault victims covering 92 incidents, 77 of which have known offenders, which makes about 85% either intimate partner violence or some sort of argument-based. So we're looking to close, we're right around 60% closure rate between the domestic violence unit as well as our detective bureau at number 10. And in carjackings, we have 2 carjackings on the year this year and 0 at this point from last year. They both occurred in the month of January, so we've been about a month free of that incident. For property crimes, we are down 23.5% in burglaries from 2024, and the burglaries that we've had in the 10th precinct over the last 2 years were our focus of attention with our mayor's initiative and strategies. We were up around 25% last year, so with it showing a 24% reduction this year so far, we've got an improvement of about 45 to 50% just in the last few months alone, so very proud of that. Larcenies down 10.5% from last year, and motor vehicle thefts down around 22%. Our strategies for violent crimes, we do targeted enforcement in high crime hotspot areas, which are 10-2, 10-3, primarily the Davison corridor, and 10-5, which is the middle of the precinct, the Boston Edison area. Those are typically and historically been the high crime areas for the 10th precinct. We put a lot of attention into those areas. We've made 242 total arrests precinct-wide year to date. For guns and gun-related crimes, we've taken 35 guns off the street, including search warrants, shot spotter warrants, as well as arrests for carrying concealed weapon illegally. We increased patrols throughout the Davison corridor, as I mentioned, with our precinct motor units, issuing around 1,800 tickets so far this year, precinct-wide, to help suppress accidents and speeders and keep motorists safe. We conduct warrant sweeps and MDOC home checks to focus on perpetrators of gun crimes. We have a ceasefire gang initiative when aimed at disrupting and dismantling groups or gangs. We target high-impact or known offenders. With our federal partners and the ATF agents, we seek to bolster and seek federal charges against the most heinous of our gun violence offenders. We also we've leveraged 3 enforcement grants for federal funding. The first being the Byrne Criminal Justice Innovation, was a traffic enforcement and business special attention in designated areas. We also run a community-based crime reduction grant, which includes traffic enforcement, B&E surveillance and enforcement, and blight abatement. We also have a Byrne discretionary housing relocation assistance through a pilot program with our social worker. We use our detective bureau, the chaplain corps, and a resource coordinator under that grant to help relocate victims of crimes, and even offer some services, including counseling for the perpetrators of crimes to try to break the cycle of violence. Our strategies for property crimes, again, directed patrols based on the data that we find in areas experiencing the increase in property crimes. Our deployments are focused on those hotspots I mentioned before, and strategies are developed by platoon and by day of the week in some circumstances. Collaborative investigations covering multiple precinct and specialized units are also conducted with commercial auto theft, vice, and other detective bureaus from other precincts. We do a robust Project Greenlight initiative, including physical and virtual checks. So the virtual check is where officers on the desk will monitor multiple Project Greenlight locations, and when they find either disruptive behavior or even sometimes spot people carrying concealed weapons, they can immediately radio to street officers. We'll have a response pretty quickly, and we've made several arrests doing it that way for gun-related crimes. And we also do physical checks. Each platoon is required to have a certain number of checks per day for the whole week, so every single one of our Project Greenlights should be checked multiple times throughout the week. Our community engagement piece, our community meetings are held the first Thursday of every month throughout the winter months. We did them via Zoom, and I believe we're going to be starting soon with in-person meetings. We have a Youth Explorer program facilitated citywide program facilitated by one of our own NPOs, Roberto Berry. We did participate in the Women's Walk, as DC Pritchett mentioned. We are also in the beginning stages of implementing the SKIP grant, as I mentioned before, which is going to be centered on reducing gun violence through education and gun safety through schools and other means. Our embedded social worker, again, I mentioned that already, but that's also another piece of our community engagement that we have daily. Current NPO programs, we run Coffee with a Cop 2 times a month, one at In Harmony Cafe on Dexter and the other one on, at the Congregation on Rosa Parks, where the NPOs and myself come and speak with any citizens that may have questions, and we try to give them updates and answer, and handle any complaints they may have. NPOs have done a senior movie night at the Northwest Activity Center, an ongoing Gleaners and Goodwill donation drives, and throughout the summer this year, our bigger community events are in planning stages. We have the Police Week coming up in May and National Night Out later in the summer, probably in around August. And we may plan a third larger event in the parking lot of our building, or of our precinct, due to last year's unfortunate rainout we had at National Night Out. So we have lots of stuff going on this summer, and that's the report out for number 10.
Good, man. That was a long report, man.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Through the chair, for the commander here, you mentioned hotspot areas.
Yes, sir.
Where are your high crime areas in the city of Detroit?
Well, for the 10th precinct, it's along.
I mean the 10th precinct. I'm
Understood.
sorry.
Sure. The 10-2 and 10-3 corridor is primarily Davison, Dexter Davison, all the way through from the east side of the precinct, or the west side of the precinct to the east. So a lot of businesses there, a lot of population, a lot of houses that are occupied. So we have a lot of unfortunate victims, you would say, because we have the highest population in our precinct and the highest number of businesses in that area. So we have it's a lot of traffic. Anybody who's driven through Davison, Livernois knows how many cars are running through there all day long. There's no break. So that's our primary areas for our crime.
Say Livernois and Davison?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Commissioner Moore, are you done, Commissioner Banks?
Yeah, I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
You know, when I greeted the captain coming in today, I called him the hardest working captain in DPD because at one point he was running the 10th precinct and still assisting the 6th precinct.
Wow.
So he was very busy. I haven't forgotten that. And then you were still answering complaints. Your NPOs work on Saturdays sometimes. So 10 is a very hard-working, productive precinct. You know, they're very responsive, and that's what I look for is responsiveness.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you can give somebody a complaint, and it might take them a week to get back with you. And I don't like that, and the citizens don't like that either. But not you, Captain. You have risen to the challenge, and I look forward to seeing you go into bigger and better things.
Thank you, sir.
Very, very powerful, especially some decades ago. You know, it used to be the infamous 10th precinct. Now it looked like the good 10th precinct. Anything else before we move on? Yeah. All right. Have a blessed one. Thank you for your service.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, y'all can give them a hand. You know. We're going to oral communications. Please note that inappropriate language or comments may delay TV broadcasts and meeting video posts. Ms. Underwood, we ready?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chair, we have 3 speakers. Former Commissioner William Davis, Ms. Williams, and Victoria Camille.
Okay.
Hello there.
Hello.
I'm not going to start off saying anything bad about y'all today
Praise the Lord.
because I got some good food today. That don't mean anything about next week.
Right.
But I would like to see a greater effort, to do something about the homeowners insurance and auto insurance in the city of Detroit. If crime is steady going down, and I believe it is, and if there's a number of things going on, I think the next step in order to help, especially with auto insurance, is to have a greater effort to deal with people running red lights and traffic enforcement. Because we have to cut down the number of people running red lights and cut down on vehicle accidents. Also, speaking of mental health, yesterday I was part of a forum that was at Second Ebenezer that U of M was helping to sponsor. And we had people from all over the eastern half of the United States. But this particular forum was dealing with mental health and black males, because far too often, too many of our black males don't seek the help that they should seek. And, so we need to do more to help to encourage people to get the help and assistance they need. So other than that, I don't have nothing else to say.
Great job.
For today.
For today. Next speaker.
Hello, everyone, through the chair.
Hello.
I'm going to be nice today. I'll wait until next week. You guys have a good day.
Praise the Lord.
Good evening, Honorable Board and community
evening.
members. My name is Victoria Camille, and I am the president of the Grand River Community Block Club, and I'm also a candidate for Police Commissioner in District 7. Very glad to be here today. Thank you. So, as we know, the First Amendment protects the rights of speech, religion, press, lawful demonstrations, labor union strikes, and things like that.
Okay.
And we're in a time when, from the federal level, the protection of First Amendment rights are under attack and have become very subjective. And it's more important now than ever that at the local level, community and government agencies and law enforcement are aligned with protecting constitutional rights and civil liberties. So mid last year, myself along with some other community members presented to the BOPC Policy Committee a draft policy to protect First Amendment activities for the police department. And at that time, we were very focused on making sure we pull the protection of those rights to the forefront of that policy and to ensure that no one is retaliated against based on their beliefs being different from those in law enforcement or in government. So I want to thank Chief Bedison, who is not here today, but I want to thank him and his staff as well as the board for being open to considering that policy that we draft, and we're definitely looking forward to an update on that draft. I do believe that together we can create and maintain a Detroit that is safe based on our local values. Thank you. Again, Victoria Camille.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I may ask, Commander Parrish, that we passed that out of committee. Where is it? It's still in your office? The draft that was prepared?
I
On
don't
First
recall
Amendment
the-
rights?
Through the chair, I don't recall the First Amendment directive going through the committee. I believe it was discussed. We did have a meeting with
I can't hear you.
Ms.
Sorry.
I was about to call her Ms. Camille and her colleagues. It is still in the draft phase. We do intend on having it submitted. We are adopting an overwhelming majority of the ideas and concepts that they are suggesting. So, Ms. Camille, I can assure you that that is being done. So I anticipate we could probably get that submitted to the board within the next week or two. If that's a priority for the board, we'll make sure we treat it as such.
Will we send it to you tomorrow, the one that we approved out of committee?
We have that. We
Yeah,
do
they have
have
that.
it, yes. In fact, we met with Ms. Camille
sure.
and her colleagues. It was discussed at length.
Was it resolved?
I wouldn't say there was ever any conflict. I think that we were just trying to reach understanding as to what they were proposing and why. We had a very good meeting. I did commit to them that we would start with their draft instead of the department's draft and build off of that. Again, I can't put an exact number on it, but the overwhelming majority of the draft that they provided is going to be adopted into policy.
Well, it's a priority item now, obviously, because of what's happening in New York and in other cities, and we need to be clear about our position on First Amendment rights of protesters. So maybe we can talk about it, not this evening, but maybe tomorrow or something, and see if we can't move it along. I asked Felicia to do the same thing, and Madam Secretary.
Yep.
Thank you.
What we have done our due diligence on it already. They just finished doing what they need to do with it to get it to us, and because it's, You've done a great job, the policy manager, Victoria Camille Num, in terms of, well, it's a team effort, you know, and what's revolutionary about this process has been a community effort. And when they can come to the table with the policy committee, with the policy manager, with the chief of police, with Commander Parrish, and we send it out to all these civil liberties organizations to let it get scrutinized. That's how you create policy. And I had a discussion about that today in terms of not just this particular policy, but the community is welcome as we take a deep dive on all these policies. And the department has been working as well as our policy chair and the committee has been doing a deep dive on these policies. And I really, I know when it was birthed and how it was birthed and why it was birthed, and it was a very powerful policy. So, and I accept that it would be get to us within a week, and so that we can take it across the finishing line, you know. So, but everybody has done their job on it, and so thank you very much, and thank you, Ms. Camille, for that engagement. You and your team was very much engaged in that process, and we deeply appreciate that. And we welcome this entire community to continue to work with us on that level so that we can be able to have a we versus us and not an I and my concept when it comes to policy. Thank you so much. Let's go to the...
Mr. Chair, Ms. Betty Varner and Mr. Robert Olive.
Yes. Okay, take your time. Amen. I don't have a physical one. How's everybody doing? We're doing good.
Good. Tell y'all a short story. Devil's been working. I planned and made all my plans. My member over there and good friend, neighbor, Mr. Leroy, my family wasn't available to bring me to my meeting this evening, so he stepped up. All right. Get on my, I've been blessed to have a lift, elevator lift. Get on my lift, and it starts moving and it stops. Now I'm stuck on my lift outside of my house on my way coming here. Wow. Could not open up the door because it's a safety. Once it started moving, the door locks. Had to call. Well, I called the people who installed it. No technicians, nobody, can't get nobody out there till tomorrow. I'm stuck on the elevator. It's getting cool, I'm cold. All right. They say you have to call 911. I called 911, and they, asked me all the questions and everything. The 10th precinct was out there within 5 minutes. No. 5 minutes, and I did not have to say it. There was some shooting going on. They came out because there was a senior, 75 years old I am, and proud of it, in distress, and the fire department. And they actually had to lift me up over the, my lift and everything. And I'm here, the unit, that's the word. And I'm here, so I thank God for it. I'm very proud of my 10th precinct. I'm very proud to be here. I want to thank Commissioner Moore. He has been just on his job. I appreciate the work that he does and how he is supportive of my neighborhood. I appreciate all of the NPOs, not just Officer Sumter, all of them, because
That's right.
they on the job. They support my community, and the captain. And if I had to complain about anything, the only thing I'm wishing that we can get us a commander, because I build and I network. I want us to have a commander that's going to be at the 10th precinct where we can build that relationship and continue to do all that is necessary to improve our neighborhood. And we are now, just this week, we're starting to have problems with shooting again, so I'll be talking to the 10th precinct about that. And I know y'all heard on the TV about 2 dead bodies was found on DeSoto. But I'm president of DeSoto Ellsworth Block Association and proud of it, and a proud city resident of the city of Detroit. Thank you for this time.
Thank you so much. Mr. Robert Olive, thank you so much.
Oh, you're so very welcome. Thank y'all.
Yes. The commander, captain about to come help you out, you know.
They better.
We don't want no smoke.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Just want to commend the work of this commission and as well as the 10th precinct, not just the NPOs, but the precinct overall for the work that has been put in. Once again, my name is Robert Olive, Reverend Robert Olive. Just wanted to let the community know that starting the beginning of next month, I have a team of young men who I've been mentoring and working with that has decided that from now until the fall, at least once a week, we wanted to identify a senior or two who is in need of some additional help around the house, as far as raking up the leaves and other yard work or things like that that they might can't do on their own. So want to make sure that if you all know anyone, please feel free to let me know. I have my card out so that way anyone can contact me with that. Or they can go to my nonprofit organization's website, which is righteoussons.org, to feel free to leave that information at the section that says contact us so that way we can assist with that. Also, the second Tuesday of every month at 16129 Plymouth, which is Assembly Church of God in Christ, we'll be doing a food giveaway as well as giving other necessities away to those who are in need. That starts at 11 a.m. And that's available while supplies and everything last. So please feel free, if you all know anyone who is in need of any resources or food, that they can come there the second Tuesday of every month at 11 a.m. Until it run out. And if somebody needs, don't have transportation, we can also provide a way for that. Lastly, I am also a candidate for your District 7 Police Commissioner. And so, win or lose, I most definitely would love to continue to be a part of this community. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Go get you some food and get your grass cut.
That was your last speaker, Mr. Chair.
Okay, none online?
No, sir.
Oh, my Lord, God is good. I think it like that. Today is Luther Keith's viewing. Luther Keith is with Rise Detroit. He was a strong community leader. It's my intentions. I didn't want to leave here early, and that's why I said God is good, because I wanted to try to stay here for the entire meeting. But I want to go pay homage to that great leader. Is at Kemp Funeral Home, and his funeral is at Fellowship Chapel tomorrow. One of the greatest leaders that this community ever produced. Very good family. Uncle was Judge Damon Keefe. His daughter is Erin Keefe. Very powerful leader in this community. So, thank you, Pastor Parsley. You're gonna have to start cutting grass too, Doc. You know, but the public comment is over with. Let's go to the report from the board secretary.
I've under tab 6 in your binder tonight, the listing of the incoming communications is there for you. Also within your binders, a reminder, the young people in 21st Century Policing, our youth advisory panel of the Board of Police Commissioners at Wayne Law School this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Great panel, and I'm sure we're going to support them this weekend.
Hold on one second. Madam Teresa, do we have flyers of
Yes,
Teresa
sir.
Blossom?
They're on
I'm saying, do they
they're on
have
the
them at the
table.
front? Okay,
Yes, sir.
yes. Yeah, please, please go out and support these young people. These young people are vitally important. Their voices matter, and you would love them. Please support those young people if you can, and to get a flyer. You on social media, any of those type of things, tweet it out, E it out, X it out, or whatever you guys do. And please support them.
Mr.
Yes.
Chair, if I may, I think the best way to support is to also bring another young person
Absolutely.
with you, because again, to see their peers engaged in that way gives them hope and optimism of what they're able to do as well. So if you got some cousins, some nieces and nephews, it would be great to have them to tag along with you as well. Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
The other announcements for today are the next board meeting is next Thursday, March 20th, will be at 3 p.m. at Detroit Public Safety Headquarters. The next community meeting is next month, Thursday, April 10th, 6:30 p.m. We will be in the 9th Precinct at Ford Community Center East on Madeline Street in Detroit. The next committee meeting, which prior to now, a lot of conversation, the Policy Committee meets this coming Tuesday, March 18th at Public Safety Headquarters at 5 p.m. And that ends the announcements for today, sir.
Thank you very much. Unfinished business. Commissioner Bernard.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, unfinished business is really a very, very brief item. I move that the special orders as listed on attachment to 7A, which are all police special orders, with the expiration date of March 25th, 2025, be extended for 90 days to June 27th, 2025. We cannot possibly get through almost 40 orders without an extension, and we do not want the existing orders to lapse. The department is in agreement with this, as is the committee. So I move that the board authorize the extension of the orders to give us an opportunity.
So it's second by DeWash. Okay. It has been. It has been moved and second. It's been moved by Commissioner Bernard that special orders listed on the attachment 7A with the expiration date March 25, 2025 be extended to June 27, 2025. And it was supported by Commissioner DeWash. Discussion?
Through the chair, just very briefly, is there any impediment to extending beyond just 90 days, or do we have to come back after 90 days to do this again, potentially?
There's no impediment except for the fact that we want to review them. Everything will have expired, so we want to be as diligent as we can to make sure that we review the special orders and that we get new special orders. I'm only trying to extend them for the 90 days.
I appreciate it.
And any board member, the department was kind enough to present two, I have one, but a big binder with all the policies in it. So you can just come in and flip through, and I'm going to ask that we put them online if there's any community comment on any of it's like 38 or 40 special orders. So we'll put them online so you can communicate back with us if you have any comments, concerns, or recommendations.
Yep. And then when you say put them online, it's the numbers, the memo that we have, because they can pull offline the special orders already because they already posted. And so just put up what we're updating. But all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried.
Thank you.
And I want to thank this robust. This is I don't know if it's happening like this in the state of Michigan or in the country, where this a body, oversight body, is working hand in hand with the department as well as with the community. And we're not talking about no fly by night community folks. We talking about some folks who going to scrutinize the periods and the commas, in these policies, and to be able to give real feedback, and so I really appreciate this process, and I believe that once it's finished, that we will have that in place, and it's going to be something big for the citizens of the city of Detroit. Having said that, on the new business, I would entertain a motion to unappoint Supervising Investigator Ansley Cromwell without cause from his current position as Supervising Investigator effective immediately. supervising investigative Cromwell is eligible to revert to the previous position he held prior to his current appointment.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Moore,
Second.
second by Commissioner Presley. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. Okay, one opposition. The motion is carried. After that, what is the pleasure of the board?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smith. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. We are adjourned.